As always, don't forget to check the video description down below for the best price on parts and tools I use in today's video. Today, I got this 2016 Honda CRV. You push the button and there is no start. I'm going to go over the quick way of just checking on it, and it is a no crank, no start. This is where you push the key, lights come on and everything, and nothing happens. A crank, no start would be you push the thing and it spins over, goes wah 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 wah, and no start. So this is a no crank, no start. Let's see what I do when I come up on these. Okay guys, and the first thing I always check when I have a no crank, no start is the battery. Batteries will typically go bad every 2 to 5 years. So you're going to want a tool like this, link below in the video description. This is a solar battery checker, and as you can see, we got 9.9 volts. A fully charged battery is 12.6 volts. So let's say this thing was 12.6 volts and it had enough cold cranking amps and it did nothing. Then the next thing we'd want to check is possibly the starter. But this one is not fully charged and it calls for, I don't see, it's probably right in front of me. Y'all are going to be like, I see it, and I don't see it. But we'll just go with 550 cranking amps because 550 will crank pretty much anything for the most part. So we'll go with 550, and then we'll hit enter again, and it'll say change, no, and we got 71 cranking amps. So this is a 2016, battery is probably just old and dead, so that's going to be the problem for this car. Now, other things you can check for. You can, well, why is this battery dead? It could be a parasitic draw. How do you check for a parasitic draw? You would take your voltmeter, you're going to go to volt mode, direct, not AC, direct volt mode. What you do is you'd loosen up this connector, you would take the connector off, and then you'd put one lead on the connector, one lead on the battery, and you want to make sure there's less than 100 milliamps on that circuit. If there's over 100 milliamps, it means there's a parasitic draw, and then you're going to need to find the thing. Maybe a light's on, or maybe something is on that shouldn't be, and that's how you check for if there's just a draw on the battery that's not supposed to be there. That is pretty uncommon. Most of the time you're looking at like a battery or a starter. It could be an ignition switch. It's less common. Again, most of the time we got batteries or starters. Now if you're going to check the starter, I'm not doing this, and I'm going to title this video battery check so that way it's not misleading. But if you did want to check your starter, this one, what size engine? This may be the starter that's up under there on that back side. I'm just, going off my knowledge from the past. If that's the case, it's going to be kind of hard to check. But what you do is you got a big fat red wire that hooks up to that starter, and then you got a little wire. So what you do is take a probe like this, you hook it up to your battery, like I got these connectors here, and then there is a prober in here, and you would probe that little wire, or if the connector's exposed, you could just touch the connector, and there's my probe. You see that little probe right there? That guy plugs in to the end of our tool. You can probe that wire, and then up is positive, down is negative. So you'd probe that wire, hit the positive. If the car starts, then you know, hey, the starter is good. Maybe there's a wiring issue. Maybe it is an ignition switch. If your battery's good and the starter's good, it could be a blown fuse. And let's see, what else could it be? The security light. Always check. Try and start the car, and if the security light is flashing, that could also be something. The car could be saying, hey, don't start. And also neutral safety switch. That's another issue you can have sometimes. Try starting the car neutral. Try wiggling that shifter around. Sometimes you got some issues there. But again, most common issue for a no crank, no start is going to be battery or starter. So anyways, hopefully that's a good start for you. You can kind of get there, and that is going to be it. I'm going to change this battery and get this customer back on the road. Oh, almost forgot. The battery could be low because of the alternator. That is another possibility. That guy right there. And how you can check that is you could jump the car if you had a dead battery, start it, get in volts mode, put your leads on here, make sure you have 13.5 volts or more, and probably less than 15 volts to check and make sure that your alternator is indeed charging. You can also put your negative lead with your DVOM from here to your positive lead on this the nut under this boot right here. And if it's charging here but not from the battery, you know you have a wire or a fuse problem. And I'm having, this is a booger, but right there, yeah, you just put your positive lead right there. And if it's not charging there and it's not charging from the battery, you can also, while the car's running, disconnect this guy right here, and you can put your leads on the end of the connector. I think this one's just 2. No, that's just a 1 wire. So what you do is you would put, this is like an exciter. You can put your negative lead on the negative right here and your positive lead on that connector while the engine's running. And you need 12 volts because, or battery source voltage, because that means the car is commanding the alternator on. If you don't have that source voltage, you know for some reason the car's not commanding the alternator on, and the alternator may be okay, it's just not charging. So anyways, that is a quick breakdown of everything you need to know to check this no crank no start. Thanks for watching.